52 teams of 8 antique rival wisdoms compete to do the future a favor and guide a life at stop2think.com. Team quote 41.1. Fear not for the future, weep not for the past. Percy Shelley 1792–1822. This serene wisdom from Shelley captures a fundamental truth about human well-being and peace of mind. Coming from a romantic poet who often explored themes of time, emotion, and human nature, it's a remarkably concise prescription for emotional freedom. The quote is beautifully balanced in how it addresses both future anxiety and past regret, the two temporal directions that often prevent us from fully experiencing the present moment. By coupling these commands, fear not, and weep not, Shelley acknowledges how we can be emotionally trapped between worry about what's coming and sorrow about what's gone. What makes this insight particularly powerful is its implicit suggestion that both future fears and past regrets are, in some sense, illusions. The future hasn't happened yet, and may not unfold as we fear, while the past, being unchangeable, doesn't benefit from our tears. The wisdom feels especially relevant in our current era, when anxiety about the future, from personal concerns to global issues, and ability to dwell on the past, through social media memories and digital archives, can seem overwhelming. Shelley's advice suggests a path to freedom through letting go of both forward and backward emotional projections. It's worth noting that this isn't a call for carelessness about the future or indifference to the past, but rather a reminder that emotional energy spent on fears and regrets often detracts from our ability to live fully in the present. Team quote 41.2. I invent nothing, I rediscover. Auguste Rodin 1840–1917. This humble yet profound statement from Rodin, one of history's greatest sculptors, reveals much about his artistic philosophy. It's particularly meaningful coming from someone whose work, like The Thinker and The Kiss, seemed to discover fundamental truths about human form and emotion that had always existed, waiting to be revealed. The quote suggests that true creativity isn't about manufacturing something entirely new, but rather about uncovering what's already there, like his famous approach to sculpture, where he saw his role as freeing the figure that already existed within the block of marble. This idea of rediscovery implies that artistic truth is something eternal that artists tap into rather than create from nothing. What makes this insight especially powerful is how it challenges our common notion of invention and originality. Rodin suggests that great art and ideas don't spring from nowhere, but come from deeply observing and revealing what's already present in nature or the human experience. This perspective remains remarkably relevant today, when there's often pressure to be completely original or revolutionary. Rodin's wisdom suggests that innovation can come through fresh ways of seeing and revealing what's already there, rather than trying to create something entirely unprecedented. The concept also aligns with how many great discoveries in science and other fields are often described as uncovering or revealing rather than inventing, suggesting this principle extends beyond art to human knowledge and understanding in general. Team quote 41.3. Experience shows that success is due less to ability than to zeal. Charles Buxton 1823–1871. This insightful observation from Buxton cuts against common assumptions about success, suggesting that passion and determination often matter more than innate talent. It's particularly meaningful coming from someone who made his mark in both business and politics, fields where he would have witnessed this principle in action. What makes this insight especially powerful is how it democratizes success. While abilities may be distributed unequally, zeal or passionate commitment is available to anyone. The quote suggests that our level of dedication and enthusiasm might be a better predictor of success than our natural gifts or talents. This idea challenges the notion of predetermined limits based on innate ability. Buxton's observation implies that someone with moderate talent but great enthusiasm might achieve more than a gifted person who lacks drive. It's about the difference between potential and actualization, Having ability is one thing, but applying it with passion and persistence is another. The wisdom remains remarkably relevant today, particularly in an era where there's often focus on identifying and nurturing gifted individuals. Buxton's insight suggests that while ability certainly matters, we might be better served by cultivating zeal, determination, and passionate engagement in whatever we pursue. It also offers encouragement to those who might doubt their natural abilities, suggesting that their enthusiasm and dedication might be their most valuable assets in achieving success. Team quote 41.4. No one knows what he can do until he tries. Publilius Syrus 85 BC 45 BC. This timeless observation from Publilius Syrus, the Latin writer known for his memorable maxims, speaks to the hidden potential within each person. What makes it particularly powerful is that it comes from someone who rose from slavery to become a highly respected author and moral philosopher. The quote challenges the common human tendency to limit ourselves based on preconceptions about our capabilities. It suggests that our own assumptions about what we can or cannot do might be our biggest constraint. Until we actually attempt something, our beliefs about our abilities are just untested theories. What makes this insight especially valuable is how it encourages action over speculation. Rather than spending time wondering if we can do something or listening to others' opinions about our capabilities, Syrus suggests the only real way to know is through actual attempt and effort. The wisdom remains remarkably relevant today, when many people might hold themselves back from opportunities or challenges due to self-doubt or perceived limitations. It's a reminder that our true capabilities often exceed our own expectations, but we can only discover this through active attempt and effort. It's also a call to practical experimentation over theoretical self-assessment, suggesting that the best way to understand our potential is through direct experience rather than abstract consideration. Team quote 41.5. Good company in a journey makes the way seem shorter. Izaak Walton 1593 to 1683. This warm observation from Walton, author of The Complete Angler, reflects his understanding of how companionship can transform experiences. It's particularly fitting coming from someone who wrote extensively about the pleasures of fishing with friends, seeing it as much about the companionship as the sport itself. The metaphor of the journey works on multiple levels. While it literally describes how pleasant company can make a physical journey feel shorter, it also applies to any challenging endeavor or life passage. Walton suggests that the right companions can make difficult paths more manageable and enjoyable. What makes this insight especially valuable is how it acknowledges both the practical and psychological aspects of companionship. Good company doesn't actually shorten the physical distance, but it alters our perception of the journey, making it feel less arduous and more pleasurable. The wisdom remains remarkably relevant today, whether applied to literal travel, career paths, personal challenges, or life's larger journey. It reminds us that while we might be able to make our way alone, the right companions can transform the experience from mere transit to something meaningful and enjoyable. It's also a subtle reminder about the importance of choosing good company, suggesting that the quality of our companions can significantly impact how we experience life's various journeys. Team quote 41.6. Through science we prove, but through intuition we discover. Henri Poincare 1854 to 1912. This profound observation from Poincare, one of history's greatest mathematicians, reflects his deep understanding of how scientific and mathematical breakthroughs actually occur. It's particularly meaningful coming from someone who made revolutionary discoveries in multiple fields of mathematics and physics. The quote elegantly captures the complementary roles of rigorous analysis and creative insight. While science and formal proof are essential for validating and establishing truth, Poincare suggests that the initial spark of discovery often comes from intuitive leaps. This aligns with his own experience of mathematical inspiration, including his famous account of how key insights came to him while stepping onto a bus. What makes this insight especially powerful is how it bridges the apparent gap between logical reasoning and creative intuition. Rather than seeing them as opposing forces, Poincare presents them as partners in the process of discovery. Intuition points the way, while scientific method confirms and validates the path. The wisdom remains remarkably relevant today, particularly in fields like artificial intelligence and complex problem-solving. While we have powerful tools for proof and verification, the initial creative insights that lead to new directions often still come from intuitive understanding. It reminds us that even in our most technical pursuits, human intuition plays a crucial role in pointing toward new possibilities that can then be proven through rigorous methods. Team quote 41.7. Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. Alexander Pope 1688 to 1744. This masterful observation from Pope, one of England's greatest satirical poets, captures a universal truth about rashness versus wisdom. The quote appears in his essay on criticism, where he uses this vivid metaphor to contrast foolish overconfidence with wise caution. The imagery is particularly powerful. By invoking both fools and angels, Pope creates a stark contrast between divine wisdom and human folly. Angels, with their supposedly superior knowledge and understanding, know enough to be cautious. Meanwhile, fools, lacking such wisdom, charge ahead without appreciation of the dangers or complexities involved. What makes this insight especially valuable is how it speaks to the relationship between knowledge and caution. Often, the more we understand about a situation, the more we recognize its complexities and potential pitfalls. Conversely, ignorance can breed a dangerous confidence. The wisdom remains remarkably relevant today, whether applied to business ventures, personal relationships, or public discourse. It's a reminder that hesitation from those with experience shouldn't be dismissed as timidity. Sometimes, caution comes from a deeper understanding of the risks involved. It's worth noting that Pope isn't necessarily advocating for inaction, but rather for approaching challenging situations with appropriate respect for their complexity and potential dangers. Team quote 41.8. There is no sin but ignorance. Christopher Marlowe 1564 to 1593. This profound statement from Marlowe, the brilliant Elizabethan playwright, suggests that lack of knowledge lies at the root of all human failings. It's particularly interesting coming from someone whose plays like Dr. Faustus often explored themes of knowledge, power, and moral choice. The quote is provocative in how it reframes traditional concepts of sin. Rather than seeing moral failings as willful evil, Marlowe suggests they stem from a lack of understanding, whether that's ignorance of consequences, of others' humanity, or of deeper truths about life and existence. What makes this insight especially powerful is how it shifts the emphasis from punishment to education. If ignorance is the root problem, then the solution isn't condemnation but enlightenment. This aligns with humanist thinking of the Renaissance period, which emphasized human potential for growth through learning. The wisdom carries particular relevance today, when many societal problems can be traced to lack of understanding, whether that's cultural misunderstandings leading to conflict, scientific ignorance leading to poor decisions, or simple lack of empathy stemming from not understanding others' perspectives. It's worth noting that this view doesn't necessarily absolve people of responsibility, but rather suggests that expanding knowledge and understanding might be more effective than punishment in addressing human failings. And to help raise school test scores and confidence with free Easy Extra Advantage Math, spelling and reading workbooks you can download for free at stop2think.com or buy at educationstopshate.com. Free Easy Math Wisdom Workbooks with octa repetition to grow math self-confidence. You'll get plenty of repetitive practice of age ranges and averages of our 52 teams of 8 quote authors. Free Easy Alpha cipher-coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. Can you decode this cipher quote of encouragement using either our learning to spell or just for fun instructions? And since time is money, practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms. We offer printed versions and timed videos with background music. Sign up for free weekly emails of 52 teams of antique rival wisdom workbooks with easy math, spelling, and reading practice. And if you'd like to get paid for sharing our wearable wisdoms, keep this in mind. Everyone I know wears a shirt, and most of us change them daily, so change your shirt and change the world. Social equalities are blatantly subliminal antique positive wisdoms repetitively shared without saying a word. This applies to all our wearable shareable wisdoms, like pretty witty baby onesies and pretty witty kids. Youthful truths let your kids gain confidence, sharing antique wisdoms with their friends. Imagine them sharing words of wisdom with classmates and teachers. I think, therefore I think teas I wear is a super easy way to share words of wisdom. With wearable wisdoms to fit babies, kids, and adults, you can clothe a whole family, city, or state. So do the future a favor by encouraging, educating, and entertaining with words of wisdom. Make us all wiser and kinder. And for a downloadable PDF of these team quotes, join the 52 of 8 today.